Do you know what? I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited for ages. I'm obviously talking about my cruise. Now, so many of you have booked your tickets already, right? And so many people are asking me different questions. I don't know the answers. Me and Daniel, well, Daniel is kind of the man who knows everything about cruises filming-wise. The man who knows everything about cruising questions-wise is Derek. Now, Derek, you work for Cruise1st, don't you?
Yes. Yeah,
and you know everything about every cruise.
Well, I've been talking about them for the last 15 years.
Have you been doing it that long?
So a lot of stuff goes in there.
Mind you, how much of it comes in, like me, comes out there?
In one ear, out the other.
And now, let's go back, because I've known you for donkey shit.
Forever and ever and ever.
Ever and ever and ever. And our paths have crossed like
Always.
this all the time.
Always.
The first time we've sat on a sofa together.
I know,
isn't it?
in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, listen, thank you so much for coming in.
No, not at all.
Now, it's my first cruise, right? I've never been on one.
I'm really excited for you as well.
Oh, I can't tell you. As each day goes by, I kind of go, because it was like a pipe dream for ages. And then we kind of go, should we do this? Should we do this? And then eventually Daniel said to me, come on, John, we're doing this. And I kind of was like, oh. And then now it's not near, it's next May, isn't it? But even so, I'm getting more and more excited as the days go by, sort of thing, because I know nothing about it.
Right, well, that's the good thing about a cruise as well, actually, and I'm quite glad that you've got that run-up time, because part of the excitement of going on one is actually having one booked and knowing that you're going, because it's like 3 parts to a cruise holiday.
Right.
Booking it, getting excited for it, find out more about it, having it, and then having all the memories afterwards.
Oh, exactly. So, right, because I've never, as I say, I've never ever done this before.
Right, what do you need to know?
Well, everything, right? So, do I park my car next to the ship, or do I have to? I don't understand.
You can do. There's parking right down at the port near where the ships are as well. Really, really easy to sort out. The guys who do the booking can help you with that as well.
Right.
But it's very, very simple to do, and literally, that's part of the excitement as well. Actually, if you are driving down, because you go down to the docks, and they're massive in Southampton. You'll see all other cruise ships out there as well. But when you arrive and you see your ship there, and you know that your car park is only over there, it's brilliant.
So it's not
really
like
simple.
It's not like going to an airport where I have to go check in here, passport here, security here.
You do have to go through security, but it's a lot calmer. Right. It's a lot calmer. So you literally go through, you still do the scanning thing, you pass your cases over. Next time you see those, they'll be outside your stateroom or inside when you get there. So they'll do all of that for you. And then anything you've got with you, you just scan through like you do in an airport. Yeah. But then you go up, 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 up into the ship. You're on holiday. That's it.
No.
Done. You can go straight to the buffet. You go straight to the bar, straight to the pool. Stick your shorts in your back, your rucksack, and then go straight to the pool.
Oh, see, you're getting me excited now.
There you go.
See, I always remember watching that, that show that Jay McDonald did about when she was
yes.
and her in the back of a taxi pulling up and getting to the ship and going. Because they're huge, aren't they?
They look enormous from the outside. They always, every ship, if there was a ship that literally had you and me on it, when we were stood next to it, we'd think it was massive.
Right.
So obviously you're talking about a few thousand people on a cruise ship. So when you're stood next to it in Southampton, you're looking up, you're thinking, never imagined it to be that big. But here's the thing, it's almost like the TARDIS, but the other way around.
Right.
Because when you're inside, if you bear in mind that around the outside of the ship, that's where the cabins are. So where they look quite tall and it looks like there's loads and loads of things going on, most of those are the cabins on the outside. You and what you do is kind of on the inside and at the top.
Right.
So all your pools and your lounges and your bars and your places to be in the sun, hopefully, is right up on the top deck. And then in the middle, you'd usually have an atrium of some sort. There'll probably be a pool at either end. And all your bars and restaurants generally are on 2 or 3 levels in the middle of the ship. So it's dead easy to find your way around, honestly, because everything's kind of grouped together.
Oh, okay then. So I'm on, because I've had a few people message me going, oh, I know my room number. I've got I know. How do I, from getting on the ship, how do I find my room?
Right, easy, because one, you'll have your deck number, and obviously that would be like being on the floors in a hotel. So if your cabin number is 10106,
right,
you're going to be on deck 10.
Right.
So you go to the lifts, which are everywhere.
Right.
And you select deck 10.
10.
And the room numbering, odds are one side, evens are the other, and it's like a hotel. You know where you go to a hotel and go to a corridor and say, room 101 to 110 that way, and 110 to 120 that way. Same kind of thing. Really dead simple.
Okay, so that's simple, but then are there different areas? I might be on deck 10, but is deck 10 divided into A, B and C, or is it just one deck?
No, it'll just be one deck. So it'll either be that end, or in the middle.
Oh, okay then. And then when I get into my cabin,
yes,
right? What should I expect inside my cabin? I know they're all going to be slightly different, aren't they? Because people have got different kind of versions of them. But what's actually in there?
Well, pretty much what a hotel bedroom would have.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're going for. Let's go for the inside.
Yeah.
The insides are lovely. They're a good size. You can have them as 2 twin beds or as 1 double. So if you're taking the nearest and dearest, they'll make up a double for you.
Yeah.
If you're taking a friend, family member or whatever, it'll be 2 twins. You've got TV.
But they ask me all this at the book. At the booking?
Yeah, you do that when you book.
Yeah.
So you tell. So there's no awkward moment when you get there and go, oh
it's a double.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have anything like that. You've got everything that a hotel room would have. So you've got your own bathroom. People still think that you share bathrooms on a cruise. You don't. Everyone has their own ensuite.
Okay, and is it like a proper bathroom? Is it like a portaloo?
No. It's a really good size. It's got everything you need. Most of them have showers, obviously, because if you were putting a bathtub in every bathroom in a cruise ship, it would have to be 3 times bigger. But you can get some, if you go for one of the top suites or whatever, it comes with a bathtub. But you're going away for a week, you need a good shower.
Yeah.
Your amenities are in there as well. So you've got shower gel and shampoo are in there already, which is good.
So it is a bit like a posh hotel then?
Yes. Yeah. And it's great. I mean, it's got everything you need.
Do you have a kettle in the room?
On Princess, I'm not sure whether you do. I don't think you will have.
Oh, okay.
Princess, actually. Sometimes some cruise lines do, some cruise lines don't. But generally, I mean, you just nip off to the buffet or whatever, and they've got tea and coffee literally all day long.
Okay, so I like to have a chilled bottle of water by my bed at night time. That's what. But I just pick that up at the bar. If I haven't got a mini bar, just take it from the bar to my room and everything like that.
Yeah.
And when I'm in my room, am I going like this with the motion of the ocean?
See, that's the thing. A lot of people think, because most people's experience of being on sea is the cross-channel ferry, one way or the other. We all remember that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so if you take a cabin on a cross-channel ferry, and I've done it myself before as well, you move that way, backwards and forwards, and you move that way, side to side. Now, think of the size of the ship. That's where the bonus comes in with the size of the ship.
Right.
Bigger the ship, the less movement you are going to feel anyway.
Right.
But they also have stabilisers on either side. All happens under
you can't see them
under the
sticking
water
out,
line. They have stabilisers. Obviously, the captains with their routes as well are able to steer the right way.
Of course, yeah.
So if there is rough, they'll take you the smoothest way through the slightly rough. Now, in your itinerary, you should be absolutely fine, because we're not talking areas that are notoriously rough to go and cruise in anyway. But a lot of people that have taken the cross-channel ferry and said, oh, I couldn't do a cruise because I'm going to be seasick, have found that they have taken a cruise and given it a try for a couple of nights, and they're like, I didn't feel a thing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't notice at all. Of course, you can get those bands that you can wear, like for seasickness, you can take tablets for it and whatever. They have got medical staff on board as well, so if any time you're not feeling right, they've actually got medical facilities on board, which is good to know.
Totally. Yeah.
Not like a chemist on board, they've got doctors.
I was going to say, because sometimes it's like whenever I go to the theatre, I sit down and go, oh, I need to wee. You know what I mean? If you get on and there's no doctor, you immediately, psychologically, I'm going to think, I'm poorly. Whereas if you know there's a doctor or medical staff on board, you don't panic.
Well, you think about it, they're not just, the team on board is not just for the passengers. They've got a crew of 1,000 plus, so they have to look after their medical welfare as well. So, they've got a full mini hospital there if they need it. So
okay, so I've got on.
Yes.
I've gone to my room.
Yes.
I've unpacked. Now there's my suitcase waiting for me in my room when I get there.
Yeah, it'll either be outside.
Yeah.
So you'll be given your medallion, and we'll come on to that.
Okay. Yeah.
In a bit. And so it'll either be outside your stateroom waiting for you, or it'll be inside already. Masses of wardrobe space. I know something you'll be worried about.
No, but I'm just taking my thong. That's
you're doing no fly. So remember, you don't have to just take one case. If you want to take 3 cases, you can carry it.
Yeah.
You can take it.
Okay then. Now, things like hair dryers and any kind of curling tongs.
There'll be a hairdryer in there.
Right.
I think they'll probably discourage things like curling tongs and whatever, obviously just for safety reasons.
No. So it's like if you go into a studio, you have to have pack testing. They don't want you taking your own electrics in there.
Yeah, not really. But they'll have a hairdryer in the room as well.
Okay, lovely. So I've got to my room, I've unpacked my suitcases, put them all in the wardrobe, in the drawers and everything.
Yeah.
And then I have that nervous feeling of I've got to go out into the ship now.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm talking about my personal thing
fine,
now. I'll be like, it'd be like, take a deep breath and go for it, because I won't know where anything is? First of all, is there a map of where everything is?
Well, you've got a phone, right?
I've got a phone,
smartphone, right? Okay, I should have brought mine with me, shouldn't I? So you've got your smartphone
Over the
in your
professional,
hands.
we don't bring up.
No. Exactly, never in a studio.
Yeah.
So you take your phone with you, you download the Princess app. In there, you put all.
Can I do that before I get on?
You can check in with that as well before and download it and whatever, but it won't work properly until you're on the ship.
Yeah.
You join the ship's Wi-Fi, which makes the app work.
Right.
And that will happen for free as well. It won't connect you to the internet, but it will connect you to all the things that the app will do.
Yeah.
And that's for free. So from there, you can navigate your way around the ship.
So go back, because you buy your Wi-Fi package, don't you? When you book it.
Yeah.
If I don't want the Wi-Fi package, but I do want to use the app.
Yeah.
That I can do that without having bought the package.
Included. And if you wanted to, you don't have to buy the Princess Plus package as a whole. If you just wanted Wi-Fi, you can just book Wi-Fi. So let's say, for instance, you don't drink, so you don't think you'll use the drinks package, but you want some Wi-Fi, you can book that on board individually.
Brilliant.
But Princess Plus is honestly, you will want to go for that.
Right.
Like 70% of people will go for it.
Lovely.
So you use the app. The app will show you where everything is. It'll show you what everything is. It'll show you the restaurants. You can also see in real time, is the restaurant busy? If you fancy going to a restaurant that you haven't booked up for, you can see in real time how busy it is.
Are in there.
And that's because everyone is wearing one of these.
Right, so when do we get that then?
Right, you get this before you go.
Right.
Or indeed when you check in, it depends. If you get Princess Plus, they'll post it to your house. If you don't do that, you'll get it at the port.
Right.
And this is like a magic little chip coin.
Right.
It probably weighs about as much as a pound coin.
Oh, okay.
And you wear it in this little thing. You clip it onto, whatever you're wearing, whatever you wander around with it on.
So everyone's got one of those.
Yeah. Instead of a hotel card, click it in. Oh, it doesn't work. Off to reception to get a new one. Blah blah blah.
Does that let me in through my door into my cabin then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So you just use this to get in out of the cabin. Now the other thing about this is anybody else that you've got with you in your party. And I think you can add friends as well. You can actually locate on the ship where they are.
No.
Because of the technology.
There's no hiding then.
Well, no, yes, you can. It's a voluntary thing. Honestly. I couldn't say, right, okay, I'm adding John, and then I can follow him around the ship where he is. Oh, there he is. He's having another gin and tonic over there. But it's really, really useful.
So what's this called? What's that thing called?
It's called a medallion.
Right, okay.
And actually, you can wear it around your neck like a medallion with your hairy chest if you want to. But you can also, it just clips onto what.
Oh, okay, then. So that gets me in and out of my own cabin, and then I have to keep it with me when I'm wandering around the ship, do I?
Yes, it's best to, because obviously if you're wanting to charge drinks, if you're wanting to buy spa treatments or whatever, because you don't spend real money on a ship.
So don't take my wallet. I don't take my wallet out each time.
Let's do the money thing really
okay.
Yes, I know you had a few questions about that. The money thing, you don't have to deal with a note, a coin at all.
Right.
You deal with this medallion. So
hang on. Do I need my passport?
No, well, not to wander around the ship.
No, but if I'm going to get off, will I need it for excursions in Oslo?
No, I don't think you will do. No, I don't think because no, I don't think you will do at all within the where you're going.
Yes.
On this route. No, there's nowhere I don't think that has kind of specific entry requirements that needs your passport. They don't usually anyway.
So I'll need it to check in at the beginning.
Need to check in at the beginning
onto the ship,
and then that's it. It goes back into your bag, and that's into your case, and you'll have a safe in the room.
Oh, so I could put my wallet, because I'm not going to need my wallet, and my passport in my safe in my room, and leave it there until I get off.
Absolutely,
Perfect.
So anything you spend on the ship, shopping, pamper treatments, bottle of champagne, I know, you'll have one or two, you can charge it by literally...
So even if I go, so I'm going to buy a tan tonight in the not that I'm likely to, but I buy a tan, I don't have to use my credit card. It will go on there. So when do I pay for that then?
You register your credit or debit card with that like an account.
Right.
Before you actually get on. That's all part of your sort of checking in, if you like, is setting up your account. You can actually set that up with cash if you want to. You have to leave a bigger deposit at the start, so it's easy to just do it on a card.
Yeah.
And then as you go along, anything you charge, you just tap that on their till or whatever, and that's it. Done. It goes onto the account for you. Yeah. And when you're in the stateroom, you can look it up on the TV. You can look up your account, see where you are.
So see how much you're spending.
Yeah. So
perfect.
Because you'll have things that go along the way. If you don't do Princess Plus, you'll have a daily gratuity that will go onto the account and things like that.
Okay then. So I come out. I've got on my app. I've come out my cabin, and I think, I'm a bit peckish.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do to dinner yet because I'd like a morning coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Can I just then find a coffee shop?
Yeah, coffee shops, there are little lounges, little bars. You can go to, a lot of the pools will have bars near them. Some will have, poolside grills and things like that. So if you want to just grab a burger or whatever by the pool.
So I want my soya latte and a cinnamon swirl.
Yeah.
I find a coffee shop
Yeah.
and I go, well, I'll have a medium soya vanilla latte, please, and I'll have one of those cinnamon swirls.
Yeah.
Do I then have to put that on there, or is that because I think my package, I'll have already sorted out my package and everything beforehand, wouldn't I? Or do I pay for them separately with my
It depends on where you are.
Right.
So if you're in the buffet and it has a little, coffee station and whatever, that should be included. But if you're going to a coffee shop, depending on what the coffee is, if it's a plain, white Americano or whatever.
Never.
But if it's a speciality, there might be a charge for
Okay, fine. Yeah. Exactly. So it's why it's important.
But it's no more than you would pay if you went to Costa, Starbucks, wherever you
Name
get
three.
your coffee.
Nero.
Yes, thank you. Others are available.
Yes, exactly. So I could go for coffee and things like that. What happens about dinner then? If I think, like at the end of the day, I want to go for dinner, do I have to dress up? Do I have to book it? Where do I go? What do I do? I've got no idea.
Okay, well, you'll be offered a seating, either an early seating or a late seating for dinner. That's like a traditional cruise thing. So it's usually like 6:30 or 8:30. So you can have your preferences between those, but you can also be as flexible as you like. For instance, like if you booked up for the early dinner sitting.
Yeah, with my gastric reflux I have to.
6:30 every night, that's when you're booked into the restaurant.
Right.
But don't feel obliged to have to go there at 6:30 every night if you don't want to.
And is this just one restaurant or is this all the
There's
restaurants?
usually a number of main restaurants we're talking here, because the main restaurant is the multi-course dining, so it'll be the full starter, main course, dessert, and then you've got the other restaurants. You've got the specialty restaurants where you can go to, specialty steakhouse, and you go there when you want to. You just book in when you want to.
Right.
So
but the main dining, I don't want to call them dining rooms, the main restaurants.
They are dining rooms.
Yeah, are 6:30 and 8:30 or whatever they are.
Or you can be as flexible as you like with that as well. You can reserve a specific time. So even if you're booked in for the 6:30 sitting, but you just think, do you know what, today I fancy doing it later, you can just go into the app and you can book the main restaurant at a different time if you want to. So Princess are brilliant because they're so flexible.
Yeah.
They know if you've been out all day exploring, and let's say you go to Copenhagen. We're going to Copenhagen on your cruise, right?
Yeah.
So you go into Copenhagen for the day. You've had a big lunch in the afternoon. You've seen some cake shop in the afternoon just before you go back to the ship.
Yeah.
And by the time it's 6:30, you think, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
It might be, actually, I don't fancy anything until 9 o'clock, and then I just want a slice of pizza or something.
Right.
It's fine.
Ooh, now
That's how flexible you can.
do they tell me where I'm going to sit? Because obviously I'm going to be on my own. If I'm travelling on my own.
Well, solos, they will. If you're travelling solo, then you can actually request either to, if you want to stay on your own. If you want to be like, I'm John Scott, I want a table to myself.
Got my dark glasses and my headscarf.
Could I have a shroud around this table, please? Or you could sit with other solos, but you know what? You get to know people like that.
Oh yes.
And it'll be soon. So I have dinner with them.
Okay, so it's not like I will be placed on a table.
You'll be allocated a table.
Yeah, but then I don't have to sit with those people every day at 6:30.
No, because you can speak to the maitre d', speak to the staff at the restaurant, and just say, actually, tomorrow, can I do something different?
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of food?
Holiday, remember? It's not a prison camp.
No, I know, but it's just kind of like
it's
all the
good,
unknown.
You've never been before, so you don't know.
So, restaurant. What kind of restaurants are? I mean, I know you can't be specific to our ship, but you might know. But what kind of am I talking? What is that? What's available normally on a ship?
Well, in your main dining room, I mean, you'll have lots of choices there.
Right.
Lots and lots of different choices. Menus usually change every day, so you're not sitting down to the same thing.
Oh wow! Like being a vegetarian, normally you have to have this pasta, and then you go back there a week later, you have to have that pasta.
Yeah. So you'll have a variety there. Remember, you've got the buffet, which I think you'll love actually.
Right.
And buffet, I know it conjures up the wrong picture, because I know now you're thinking, I'm at a wedding now, and
they're going to be in hot trays. Yeah.
Every 4 stations, I'm coming back to the same choices.
Yes, yeah.
No, not at all. They are all freshly made. I mean, at breakfast, it's brilliant because you've got an egg station, you've got, a full hot selection, you've got a pastry station there. All of it looks delicious. And of course, the great thing with the buffet is if you haven't quite satisfied yourself the first time around, you just
carry on.
Go back for more.
You see, that is my one worry, is because if you go to a nice hotel in the more, like if you're going to a wedding, you stay there, and I kind of go, oh, do I want the beans and the hash browns? Oh, but I quite fancy an egg and this, or oh no, I actually quite fancy the fruit and the yogurt and things like that.
The secret to that, John, is you have to develop amnesia. So you have to go with your first love first.
Yes.
Take it, eat it. Then forget that you've done that, and then go back and have the other thing that you.
And then, but it's then when you go,
will anyway.
Oh, do you want
holiday,
French? Do you want French toast? You go, oh yes, love some of that.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want maple syrup on that? Yes, I do, please.
But you know what? It's a holiday, isn't it?
I know.
You've got to remember, it's a holiday, and on your cruise, you'll be doing excursions, so you will be doing a lot of walking. And actually, let's just talk about walking on the ship as well. I mean, people think that you're walking for miles on a ship. Yes, you can be if you want to be.
Yeah.
But your longest walk is probably to your stateroom and back, and that's the end of the day, isn't it? But you can get your steps in wherever you want to. There's a gym.
Don't say it like that.
No, but there's
a gym. Take your PE kit.
If you want it, if you think, because I mean, people think that cruise ship food is all going to be about stodge and calories.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. It's 2024. It's not 1962 anymore.
Yeah.
It really has changed massively. So there's healthy choices. Being a vegetarian, not an issue. Being a vegan, not an issue. Dairy-free, gluten-free, whatever it is. Always let the team know before you book up, just so that they know, so that the ship knows as well. What level of dietary things that they're kind of catering for.
Okay, now I know a couple of the people who've booked have got like special anniversaries or special birthdays. Are there like high-end restaurants that they can book a romantic meal for 2 in and things?
There are specialty dining restaurants. I mean, you can go right the way to private dining for a small group if you want to. Obviously that's going to cost a little bit more.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you're paying for the experience, aren't you? But specialty dining restaurants, and they're not just for occasions. They are like, okay, we're away for 7 nights, so one of those nights, let's go for it. Pardon the pun, push the boat out.
Okay, so then when you watch things like Love Boat and everything like that, they all dress up in their evening gowns and their tuxedos, and they sit on the captain's table and things like that. Does that still happen?
1 or 2, there will be formal nights on board for your week, and you can dive into that wholeheartedly, or you can completely say that's not for me.
Right.
And it won't affect your experience in any way, shape or form. But it's a nice thing to do because the ships have their photographers. So if you get dressed up in the full 9 yards, you in the other half or whatever it might be, have the professional pictures taken. There's a full Photoshop and whatever, so you can take that back. And that's a really special thing.
Yeah, of course.
Really nice thing to do. And it is a lovely atmosphere. But it's not like an all-day, every-day kind of thing. Like it's 1 or 2 evenings.
Yeah, so I haven't got to dress up in a ball gown every night. No. And I don't have to at all if I don't want to.
No.
Okay, now the next thing that comes to mind then is if I am wandering around and I get a bit... not lost, but kind of think, oh, I really don't know. Are there like if you go to a big shopping mall, there's a enquiries desk or customer service desk. Is there something like that on board? How do I find out to speak to somebody?
There's honestly, if you take 8 steps in any direction when you're on a cruise ship, there'll be a member of the crew there.
Oh, really?
They're everywhere.
So it's not. A lot of people will go, well, I'm a bit, especially if they're travelling on their own like me. It's kind of like that.
You don't know who to ask.
No, and he might get overwhelmed a little bit and go. When you first see the size of that, when I saw the size of that little model on the table, and I kind of went, oh, it's huge. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really excited about it. That looks enormous.
You won't have that sense of size when you're
in it.
On.
Right.
That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're up on deck, up on the pool deck, and you're looking out to sea, you're just enjoying the views.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And then when you're inside, remember, it's not just one big empty hole in the middle. It's all divided into rooms and spaces and lounges and theatres and things like that. So you really don't feel the enormity when you're kind of enclosed within it, if you like.
But if it not I don't want to say overwhelmed because that's the wrong word. But if you just need help, there's people around.
There's a full guest services team.
Right.
So like a hotel reception, but instead of one person, It's not just Pauline behind the desk.
Yeah.
There's a whole, there's a whole team of them. Because if you think about it, people do have questions all the time.
Yes.
People take the wrong adapters and things like that with them, or they've got a question about this, or they want to cancel tomorrow's excursion, or they want to change it, or I've sat on cruise ships next to the guest services just deliberately to listen to the kind of things that people ask, and it's fascinating. You would not believe, honestly, the things that people ask. It is really, you'd love it.
No.
Half a day sat there, you'd just be like,
do you know, that's
I'd never
I'm going to want a new job. I keep thinking, what should I do as my next job? I might quite enjoy that. So now let's talk about excursions.
Yes.
Because obviously they're on top of what you book an excursion like you would if you're going for a day shopping in London or something like that. Do I have to book way in advance, or can I then on the night before think, I'd really like to get off and go around Copenhagen tomorrow or something like that? And is there do I just get off and walk into Copenhagen, or do I have to go on an excursion?
No, you don't have to go on an excursion. Usually what happens is, obviously because you're turning up in a port wherever you are, so usually between the port and the actual place there might be, like a distance, because you don't want to be inside the cranes of a busy port or whatever. So there'll be a little shuttle that takes you like to the edge of the port, and then usually, bus, train, taxi, whatever.
But then that's the same if you're into Paris. It's up to you to get the bus or up to
Yeah. So you can do that, and usually there's loads and loads of advice, by the way. So when you're on the ship, there'll be presentations, live presentations that you can sit and find out more about the place you're about to go to.
Right. So say the night before we get into Copenhagen, there'll be a presentation. Could be a presentation saying when you get to Copenhagen, the things you need to see, the things we suggest are.
Right. So there'll be a list of excursions that you can take. And what I would say in terms of booking excursions, you should be okay. I think on your itinerary, you should be okay, because there's not one particular thing that the whole ship wants to do, in which case you would have to have that booked 3 months before the sailing. So you should be okay. So there'll be a good choice of excursions that you can look at online in advance, and you can book them in advance by going into your account online, or you can wait until you're on the ship, because you'll meet other people that say, come with us. We're doing this trip.
Well, it's already started happening on my Facebook page.
There you go.
It's a few people who've booked going, have you booked this excursion? So they've obviously gone on and had a look what the excursions are, and saying, are you going on this one? Because it'd be nice to go on this one or that one. But what kind of are the excursions then, rather than just letting you wander around Copenhagen? They will be, we will go to this and we will go to this, and we'll have lunch here.
What they'll normally do on a day excursion is they'll try and find 2 or 3 kind of highlight experiences and do them all in that day. Put lunch in there, and most importantly, get you back to the ship in time for it to go. Because that's a lot of people's panic.
That was going to be my next question. So say I'm not going on an excursion.
You'll be fine, John.
I've taken the minibus out and I've started walking around Copenhagen, met some nice people and everything, gone to a lunch party or something. Then I see my ship leaving port and I'm still in Copenhagen.
Okay, I'm going to tell you straight away, you're a Brit, John.
Right?
Yeah. Quite aside from me knowing you, you're a Brit. So if I tell you to be back on the ship at 5 o'clock, when will you be back on the ship?
3:15.
There you go. No one's late. So if you're on an excursion, and the excursion overruns, it's their
problem.
They will hold the ship for you. If it's a ship excursion, they won't go without you. So it's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you make your own way there, and
they won't hold.
You end up, you end up in the middle of nowhere. Then it's a different kettle of fish. It's kind of your responsibility. But they usually say you're back on the ship somewhere in the region of about an hour before it actually sets sail.
So they're not going to say
you got plenty of time.
Be back by 4. They're not going to be setting off at 4. They're going to be. They're telling you to be back at 4 so that you're all on board. That they can pull up the gangplank and move on.
They've got to make preparations before they go. But obviously they've got to leave on time, because it's the same as a plane. It's very expensive for that ship to be in a port. If it's hanging around longer than it needs to, it's like a plane that's not taking off. It's costing the company money. But you'll be fine, because you're a Brit, and we will always be an hour earlier
away to it
than they told us to be.
No, totally. So
you'll be fine, I promise you.
Okay, so I'm thinking now that on one of the days I don't want to go off an excursion. It's a beautiful day. I want to go and lie by a swimming pool.
Perfect.
With my trunks on. And have some nibbles and drinks by the pool, right? Do I have to put my swimming trunks on and a dressing gown on and walk through the ship in my dressing gown? Because like sometimes if you're at a hotel, you put your swimming trunks on in the hotel room, and then you walk down to the pool. I don't want to be going, if I'm on level 2, I don't want to be going up in a lift and along and everything in my dressing gown.
Well, I can tell you that people do.
Oh, okay.
And they're very comfortable with
Oh,
that,
okay,
actually.
good.
You will very often on a port day, and a port day is a great day to stay on the ship.
Because everyone else has got off.
Because you feel like you've got it to yourself. You've got the hot tub, the jacuzzi, whatever. All the
Well, you see, I can't get off at Oslo. I've got history in Oslo.
Okay.
So on the day in Oslo, I have to stay on the
You have
ship.
to lie low.
Yes, lay low.
Okay, right.
Okay, so the day we're in Oslo and they've all got off and I'm going to go up to the pool.
Yeah.
Are the pools, do you say, only on the top floor?
They're all over the ship.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, they're all up high.
Right.
They're usually at either end, and sometimes there's one in the middle.
Oh, no, but hang on. They have to be on the... If you want to lie in the sunshine, they
Yes.
can't be on deck 10, can
Not
they?
really, no. No.
So
They're
they're on the
shade.
Yeah, they're on the top. And so I can go up in my swimming trunks from the dressing gown if I want
Yes,
to.
yeah.
But if I don't want to and I get up there and I
Yeah.
think, oh, I want to jump in and have a swim, are there facilities, round pools and everything for...
There are usually changing rooms around, or there'll be bathrooms that are not too far away from
Right,
there.
okay.
So if you want to,
Just get
nip
changed.
into a cubicle and get changed in there or whatever.
And is it like, those holidays where you have to go and put your towel on a bed at 6 o'clock in the morning?
No, not at all, because there are plenty of lounges there for everyone. And in the same way as, hotels discourage, getting up at 4:30 in the morning and that's our lounger. Like, it's the same thing. But you'll find that people don't really do it.
No, exactly. And also, I suppose, the lounges is when you're on the beach and you want to be at a certain place on the beach,
Yeah.
but when you're on the top of a ship, the sun's all round and the swimming pool's there, isn't it?
You find yourself moving around as well. Because, obviously, sometimes when you're at sea, it might be sunny, but there might be a bit of a breeze, and it depends on which direction that breeze is coming from. So where it was nice over there earlier, you might think, actually, I want to be over there where it's slightly less breezy.
Or that pool might be a little bit noisy for me. I'm going to walk along to the one at the other end.
Yeah.
Now, I've been told by Daniel, because I've been telling everyone that there's a rock climbing wall. There's no rock climbing wall on mine.
There's no rock. No, there's no rock.
What other things on a ship are there? Because when I watch you on on your shopping channel telling your cruises, and you kind of go, how do they fit a theatre and a this and a that? And I've seen you doing. I'm not saying they're on my ship.
Skydiving.
It's skydiving, but in a tube and everything like that. Where your face goes like that.
Yeah.
How does that all fit onto a ship?
Yeah, well, look at the size of it.
I know.
And that's the thing about having a bigger ship as well, John. I mean, you could have gone for your first cruise on a much, much smaller ship with just a few hundred people, but that does give you less choices.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When you've got a bigger ship, you've got more choices. You've got more... Let's talk about daytime for a second.
Yeah.
People think that port day in Oslo, where you're thinking, everybody's there, you're lying low, and you're thinking, right, well, there's nothing else to do but sit by that pool. There'll be nothing else to do. There are loads of things to do. There are things like test kitchen, where you can get involved in cooking demonstrations and things like that. There are classes. There are all kinds of activities that are going on.
Don't tell me Julie Peasgood's going to be on there and I'm going to make a mirror out of old cups and things.
She could pop up anyway. You never know. But there is loads to do. So even if you're on a sea day, right? So you're not in a port lying low. You're at sea that day. There's a massive programme of things to do. And that's the thing about a cruise, John, actually, is there are no dead spots. Sometimes when you go on a holiday with family, there are dead spots. You've got the middle of the afternoon, you've done lunch, it's too early to start,
Well, it's like going to a wedding, isn't it? That bit between the wedding reception and the evening do. What do you do with yourself?
And also, when you're staying in a hotel with family, you're pretty much all confined to doing the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
Really, it's kind of like captive audience, isn't it? Because there's no real choices. A restaurant, a hotel has a restaurant, maybe a pool, possibly. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what, we're going to have to sit and chat or play Monopoly or whatever. On a ship, if you're with your other half or friends or family or whatever, one of you's really energetic and wants to be, in the gym or whatever. Another one of you is horizontal and wants to be in the spa or by the pool. You can all just go off and do your different things. Remember, you've got your own sat
Of course, yes,
you know where each other are.
Yes.
You're not going
if you plug them in. Unless you keep
exactly. You just leave it in the room.
How do I know then from each day what's happening on... how do I know if Jane McDonald's going to be doing a show on my ship or anything like that?
You all know, John.
Oh, I know. I know
everyone.
But you know what I mean? How do I know what's going on?
Okay, well... You'll get like a daily program, so that will arrive the night before. So day one, when you get onto your cruise, in the evening you'll find all the information about what's happening tomorrow in your stateroom. It's a good bedtime read, actually.
Oh, okay. Will it be on the app as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit like the ship's newspaper, if you like. So it will tell you,
Bridgerton,
right,
dear reader.
Where are we going tomorrow? What's tomorrow's cocktail of the day? When's bingo tomorrow? Is there karaoke tomorrow? What's the show tomorrow? It will tell you all of those things the day before.
Okay, so then if I see that there's a show on, a matinee of like songs from the shows, and you know, like Michael Ball lookalikes and things like that, do I have to book my tickets to go to see a show?
No, shows are dead easy. Because remember we talked about the dinner thing before?
Yeah.
So there's an early sitting for dinner and a late sitting for dinner. Generally speaking, you be as flexible as you like. And that means there's a late show and an early show, or an early show and a late show for the main production show.
Right.
But there's also loads of other things going on around, because not everyone...
Can I just say, do I have to pay if I'm going to go and see songs from the shows?
No, it's included. All the shows are included, and there are different shows every night of the week as well, which is good. It's part of the experience. This is how cruise is just so popular, because if you think about it, how much would, I mean, they're not long shows either. They're not going to take up the whole of your evening. I mean, sometimes if you go to a show, you've committed the evening.
Of course,
that's it. And you're like, where do we eat around this? But the shows aren't massively long either, which is brilliant. They're like the perfect length. But there's also quiet lounge over there if you want just, you know, quiet cocktail. There's also karaoke going on down there. There's also some live music going on there. There's a comedy show going on somewhere else. So there's all kinds of different things going on at the same time. So not everyone is piling in.
I was going to say, because what happens if... Because the theatres will only be a certain size, won't they? And
they won't hold everyone.
I was going to say, no. So first come, first served if Jane McDonald is there.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, I'll just text her and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you keep going on, and it's good that it is an experience. Because that's exactly what I'm hoping for. I want, as a solo traveller, I want it to be an experience. That's what it's going to be, isn't it? It's going to be something that, well, I've never done it before, but it's going to be something that, like you said at the beginning, it's something you get excited about. When you're there, you enjoy it, and then afterwards you have fabulous memories from it and everything like that. So it's all about the experience. But there's something I need to bring up, and it came up a lot when we first launched it on Facebook and everything. I know as a single person, wherever I go on holiday, I've got to play a supplement. Right? People were quite shocked at how much, and it hasn't stopped them. We've had a lot of single people book, but the difference between sharing a cabin and being on your own in a cabin on a cruise seems to be, and I rang Daniel and said, oh, this is a bit, and he went, that's what cruising is. That's part and parcel of it.
I'll tell you why. Because it's very, very simple, and it is changing, John. We are going in the right direction in terms of solo prices. They are coming down. But at the moment they are where they are, because the business model of the cruises is about how much each person spends while they're on board. Okay.
Oh, it's not, because I was thinking, there's only one person eating, so there's only half the amount of food.
Right.
But it's about...
So the business model budgets how much someone will spend on average in addition to the cruise fare on a daily basis, and that's how they work out their revenues, and that's how they work out their fares in the first place. So even though one person is only eating one person's worth, well, you know, who knows, they can eat as much as they like, but actually it's the cost to the cruise line as well. So the cost per person, it is calculated, but obviously it's not like a hotel where if you go and stay in a hotel on your own, the only cost to the hotel is them cleaning your room.
Well, if they do it these days, you have to go downstairs.
You have to, you have to bend over backwards to ask anybody.
But you're right. That's the only.
But that's the only cost. Imagine for a second, you have got a team of 100 who are looking after your needs one way or the other on a single day on your cruise. So you've got people in the kitchens who are preparing all of the food that you're going to be eating, not just once a day, but 3, 4, 5, umpteen numbers of times a day. And then you've got your own personal theatre company, if you think about it. I know I'm over-egging this, but if you're thinking about it, you've got all the people who are responsible for keeping the ship where it needs to be, etc. You've got all of the activities that are on board. They all need staffing as well. And so actually the cost per passenger isn't just, okay, well, we just need Maureen to clean the room once a day. Do you know what I mean? It's so many more people, and that's the model, that's the way they work out. And obviously getting more people onto one cruise ship brings the overall price down. I mean, if there were just 2 of you going on that ship, you'd be paying a heck of a lot more.
No, exactly.
You know, so it's kind of economies of scale.
But it's good to know this because as a customer, you just go,
it
they're
doesn't
just
make
ripping
sense.
off the single person.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Now I understand why, and that makes it more justifiable to me because I understand why it's going, because you don't get any of that in a brochure or watching you on the telly. You don't get that, it's cost you more because this. Now I know that.
But also, if you think about a day, let's just take one day for instance. If you think about, okay, the cost of a cruise, when you look at it, front end, price tag, always looks considered, right? But then when you break it down and you actually do a cruise, you realise that actually for that, you've got your choice of umpteen different food choices. Every single day is there. If you were going into town, I mean, you know how much it is just to have a coffee and a cake these days. You know that sometimes you can go to lunch with a friend and you've just had a couple of sandwiches and some posh tea and you've get 50 quid light.
Oh, and the rest.
And you're like, okay. So when you start adding up all of those things, if we were in, let's not even take a big city, let's take Bristol.
Right.
If you and I were going to see a half decent production show in Bristol, ticket price per person.
Oh, £90, £95.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when you add all of those things up and then you sit that cost side by side for everything that is there at your every whim, if you like, all of those pools to go in to jump in whenever you want to, all of those different entertainments, and you're not lining up at the door at each of those lounges going, okay, it was comedy tonight, how much is that?
Yeah.
You know, oh, it's the big production show. How much is the ticket? Like, you don't have any of that. So it is about the overall experience. And actually, as Brits, I have to say, and it's great to be able to talk to you like this, actually, because we're not selling anything.
No.
So it's quite nice to say, actually, as Brits, we do like to know the price of everything, and we do like to comment on the price of everything. So rather than spending that week on your cruise going, oh, look at the price of that. Oh, I didn't think that would be that expensive. Oh, the price of this. Which it zaps the joy out of your holiday.
No, completely.
Because you're sitting there.
It's guilt. It's guilt. It's guilty. I'm spending this money. Also, the other thing is you were just telling me about your mum and dad on a trip at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looked after on a cruise 24 hours a day. So if I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I can still go for a coffee, I'm presuming, and things like that. Or there's people to see or people to speak to or anything like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, what happened to your mum and dad?
Okay, mum and dad, this was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
On the day we're filming this. Yesterday, my mum and dad were on a coach holiday. They lived down in Kent. They were going to see the wonders of Lancashire. Very nice. So they stayed in a hotel in Preston. And so they go out and do their activities during the day. The coach drops them back at the hotel at 3 in the afternoon. There's no entertainment in the hotel. They have to kind of please themselves until the following morning at 9:30 when they get back on the coach to go home. Obviously, they've been there a few days.
Yeah.
But I was like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like,
and what they expect you to do, just sit in their room.
Well, exactly.
Whereas if that's on a cruise, you go up to the pool, or you can take in a show, or you can go, like say, do one of the different experiences.
And you can do the traditional cruise things as well. You can do the napkin folding. You can do the bingo playing. You can do shuffleboard.
A week's not going to be long enough, is it?
No, there's so much to do. Honestly, you won't see everything on that ship in your week. You won't see it all.
Okay, I just need to say, right, I mean, I was excited beforehand, but as a solo traveller, which I'm going to be, now that Derek's explained all of that and everything like that, I just think, let's go for it. Because a lot of people have booked already, like I said earlier, who are singles. We're going to have the best time ever. And what you do, if you're a single person, if you've got that thing about, oh, I've spent a little bit more than everyone else, doesn't matter. Do more on the ship. Do more experiences. We'll be looked after. I'll look after you. We'll all be looked after, won't we, by the crew and everything like that. So if you are umming and ahhing thinking, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And I know Derek said we're not doing selling, and I'm not trying to sell it to you now, but I'm just saying, if you are, because so many people are messaging me going, oh, I'd so love to come, but let's go, let's have a brilliant time, let's do every experience we can, let's drink as many coffees and drink as many cinnamon swirls or eat as many cinnamon swirls as we can do and just get our money's worth, because that's what you can do, isn't it? Or if you want to come along, we'll just sit by the pool, gossip, read our book and everything like that. Doesn't matter. Single, I'm on my own, so you come on your own as well, and we'll have a brilliant time. Right, we've been whistling on for so long.
Can I just on that point?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who travel on their own. some people choose to travel on their own. Some people it's circumstance. I've an aunt of mine who sadly lost her husband a few years ago, and has got used to and has adapted. Still wants to go on holiday. Still wants to enjoy great things. She also is a member of U3A, and I know lots and lots of people are.
Yes, yeah.
And actually, because you do lots of groups with things like U3A, it might be a gardening group, it might be sewing, it might be whatever. Actually, you buddy up with people and get really friendly with them very, very quickly because you do trips together and weekends away and whatever. If you're a solo and you're thinking, right, well, actually, someone that I know would really love the experience, they might not know John Scott from Adam. I mean, where have they been?
Well, no, it does happen.
But, there's nothing to stop you actually, taking a friend, or I know a lot of people are bringing their bag carrier, aren't they, the other half, but it might be your sister. It might be your brother-in-law. It might actually be, here's the thing, it might actually be a grandchild.
Oh,
you might actually be introducing your daughter, your son-in-law, whoever it is,
what a lovely gift,
to cruising.
But what a fabulous gift.
Amazing.
Also, while we're on that point, a lot of people said to me when I first said I'm going to do a John Scott cruise, they were like, oh, all those old people all together, it'll be like a Derby and John. It's not like that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And actually, that's how cruising has changed so much in the last 20 years, and massively so in the last 3 or 4 years. So I'll tell you why. After the pandemic, where we couldn't travel anywhere outside the UK, lots of cruise ships stuck to the UK coasts and did staycations. So people got their first taste of cruising. They were like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I didn't think it would be this posh. I didn't think the buffet would have so many different choices. I didn't know the entertainment was so good. I didn't know so-and-so was on the X Factor a few years ago, was on the stage tonight. So actually the average age of cruises is really coming down as well. It's not, there are cruise lines for a more mature crowd as well.
Who don't want children running around the place.
Absolutely. And Princess isn't one of those. No. Princess is a cruise for everyone, honestly.
It's really funny because when I announced it, Vix, the presenter Vix, right?
Yeah.
She's now got 3 little kids, and her demographic of friends has changed. Before it was just like necking down the pub and everything.
Yes.
Now she's got yummy mummies and everything like that. They're all going on cruises. All of them. And so she thought about booking for this one. She went, oh no, poor old John will hate it if I turn up with my 3 kids and my husband and everything. But literally, she said all of her, and they all young mums, she said they all go on cruises all the time.
And shall I tell you why? Because there's loads of things you can do as family units together on a cruise, but then you've got the most amazing kids facilities, and it's not just one room for all the kids.
Yeah.
There's
or one of those ballparks that smells.
No, not at all. So there's the little kind of fantasy area for the toddlers, right the way up to gaming consoles, for the teens and whatever. So they all have their own places to be. They can look after even the youngest of toddlers. They'll kind of babysit them for you while you go and have a lovely lunch, and maybe just get a siesta in the afternoon.
I was going to say, just have a little break or a little romantic schmooze or whatever.
Yes, just a bit of time to reconnect with Dad. Yeah. So
basically, it's not going to be a ship full of old fuddy-duddy old ladies in polyester dresses. I'll just be the only one, apparently. So now, is there anything else you need to tell me about or advise me to do while I'm there or whatever?
I would say, if you've not done it, because this is the thing, a lot of people who say, oh, I couldn't cruise, and you say to them, well, why? And they'll give you a raft of different...
Well, no, mine would be this. Will I fall over the edge? Can I fall over the edge?
Not unless you climb very high to get over the edge.
That's right. So it's not going to accidentally go like that and I'll be over the edge.
Do you know what? The movement is so... If there is movement, right, it'll be so slow and so gentle, you won't even know it.
Right, okay.
Obviously, when you're lying down in bed, you're going to be a little bit more aware if there is movement. But you know what? That old adage of sea air does you good, and it gives you a good night's sleep, I think does work. But what I would say to those people who are absolutely almost dead set against it, they love you, they want to be there and everything else, but they're like, not cruising. What I would say to them is, talk to people that you know, talk to people that you trust. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me. Don't take my word for it. Go and speak to friends, family, whoever, U3A, whoever you trust, and find out someone that you know that's been cruising and ask them about it. Because you'll find very few people who... I'll tell you what happens a lot, right? Usually there's couples where one really wants to do it, one is dead against it. They try it. The one that wants to talks the one that doesn't want to into it, and then it reverses. So they try it, and Mr. I'm dead against and will never cruise is now cruising 5 times a year.
Wow.
You've got to give it a try, haven't you? We live once, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. And also, we decided for our first one, look at me planning my second one already, I'm not even been.
Oh, you've got to
have no fly, because I think it adds, not complication, but for your first time, you don't want to be going to Birmingham Airport, flying to a destination, getting your bags, then staying over maybe, and then getting on the ship the next day. This way, you can drive up to the ship, you can get on it. We're going to a lovely place, but it's not that far away. It's not like you're thinking, oh, I'll be stuck in the middle of the Caribbean, miles away from home. You're not miles away.
You're only over there.
Exactly. And also, the other thing is people go, like me, before I went to Norway the first time, I thought it snowed all year there.
No.
I didn't realise that in the summer months, it's baking.
Listen, my parents who live in Kent thought that Yorkshire was the frozen north. You're going up to Norway and...
Normal in Denmark.
Yes. So you'll be fine. And you're going in May.
Yeah.
Right. 17th. So the weather will be about what it is here, right? So I can't promise you sunshine.
No.
But you're going to get the best views when you're up in Fjordland. You're going through Kristiansand as well, aren't you? So through Fjordland, which is absolutely beautiful. It's the only way to see it from a cruise ship. You're eye to eye with the scenery. It's amazing. And so, yes. But remember, you're no fly, so you can take what you like anyway. So yes, take the very light jacket, take the light jacket, and take the big jacket.
Exactly. Now, and also get all your shopping, because if you go on a cruise and you stop off in somewhere different, you might buy something in Oslo, something in Kristiansand, something in Bergen, or whatever, and then you come back and you think, I can't fly back with that. One question is though, we've been talking about pulling up by the side of the ship. If I'm not driving, how is the port easy to get to? Like if I'm coming from say Chester and I'm get a train or something.
It's one of the biggest things that happens in Southampton.
Right.
I love Southampton. It's a lovely, lovely place. But that's one of the main attractions, the main attraction really of Southampton for people coming in from outside. So it's well connected on the motorway network. If you are driving, there's a train station there. Just get a taxi from the airport to the port. And you just tell them the name of the ship, and they'll know which port to take you to, because there's quite.
Oh, is it that big?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, see, in my brain, I'm pulling up like this.
No. Because when you see Dover on the TV, it looks dead small, don't you? You just see the ferries there, and there might be a cruise ship over there. Southampton's vast. I mean, there are loads of different docks, but you just tell the taxi driver or whatever which ship you're on. They'll know exactly which quay to take you to, because you'll see other ships there as well.
Oh, I'm not going to get the wrong one, am I?
No,
It's not like when you go to Euston.
Well, you
and
take
go
that
down
with you if you want.
You go down the ramp. I did it so many times when I was a student. They'd say the train to Chester is number 8, and number 8 and 9 would be the same ramp going down. And I'd be so busy chatting, and then suddenly your train would take off and be on the wrong train.
I mean, they will know long in advance if you're in the wrong queue. And there's also an airport in Southampton as well. So let's say you're up in Aberdeen, Dundee, or whatever. You fly down to Southampton.
Also, I'm presuming there'll be lots of Premier Inns and things. So if you panic about, what happens if my train's late? What happens if the M25's blocked? Or something
stay the night before. There are hotels where you can literally look out onto the waterfront. You can see all the cruise ships coming in and out and whatever. Have a night in Southampton.
And also, train, car, coaches. I presume coaches must go down there, mustn't they?
Yeah.
And I'm presuming if cruising is that big that the coach companies will go, we go to Southampton and we go to Southampton Port or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, but there's ways and means of getting there. It's not going to be an obscure...
Well, I mean, Southampton is not the biggest of places anyway. So everywhere you travel to in Southampton will put you pretty much within stone's throw distance of the port.
Well, I'm just thinking about me and my 4 suitcases, that's all. And my big heavy coat, my light coat,
You'll have a limo, John, surely.
Oh, not these. I can't... Listen, thank you so much for coming.
Not at all.
I was excited anyway, but I'm even more excited
I knew, because you hadn't been before, I knew that there were things that you needed to have in your head. When you don't know about something, sometimes you can be a little bit kind of, I'm not sure. When someone just says to you, you know what, it's dead easy. And it's a lot more fulfilling than a coach holiday or a holiday park. You could do your week in a holiday park, couldn't you? But it has limitations.
Yeah, totally.
You know what? A cruise, wonderful.
Okay, right. I knew there was one other thing.
Go on.
I was thinking, no. People are saying that, not people saying, some people have asked me, Cruise1st, right? Are they a reputable... I mean, I know you and Daniel wouldn't work for them if they weren't. But they're spending a lot of money.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, John, always as it is.
Yes.
I've worked for Cruise1st for the last 10 years, and they've been around for 25. Now, for a cruise company or a cruise selling company to have survived through the pandemic when basically everyone shut down, I mean, there were no cruises to sell. So, you know, what do you do when you only sell cruises? Like, what do you do?
What do I do?
You go into hibernation.
Yeah.
But they got through all of that and kept a good reputation as well. And for me, that's more important. Because you know, it's exactly the same for you. When you're on Sewing Street, you want to know that what happens at the back end represents what you were saying.
Oh no, it's all on me. And which is why people always say to me, I'm not. People know if I love something and don't love something, and you're the same.
Absolutely.
We can stand here, like whether we're selling jewellery or quilts or cruises, if. You won't ever be rude about anything, but you'll know the ones that you absolutely love and the ones you trust and everything like that. And you wouldn't work for Cruise1st.
I absolutely. I mean, you know me off camera as well. So you know that I'm very much. I will call a spade a spade.
Oh yes, and you'll walk if you think that you're not working for somebody a bit dubious.
Absolutely. Yeah. So reputation for me is important, and actually this is all I do now. This is what I focus on. Yeah. You know.
But also, all those people, because you sell cruises for like half years and things like that. You know, people are really invested. If they have one thing that they'll be back, because I get phone calls, not phone calls, but messages saying, "Oh, this quilt kit had this missing," and I'm like, "I'm in bed. It's 11 o'clock on a Saturday night." You know what I mean? It's because we are the faces of them. So you, as the face of Cruise1st, you wouldn't be here if you didn't think it was a safe, secure, look after you, look after your money, look after your insurance and everything like that.
No, absolutely. Well, I'm taking nearly 500 people to the Caribbean at the end of November.
500, look
with
at you.
Cruise1st. So, and I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even have gone into that if I hadn't have trusted in what they do. I just wouldn't have taken it.
Well, you wouldn't have done that, but you wouldn't be sitting on this sofa, the Cruise1st sofa. Well, you wouldn't sit on there doing it every day, because you're there every single day on my telly every day, aren't you, representing Cruise1st?
Well, you know, I'm exactly the same as you, John. Like, if anything went wrong, I'd want to go around to every single person's house and personally explain.
I'd feel guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel guilty, exactly. So anyway, I will let you go home now. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I hope this has helped you make up your mind, because I'm really excited. And don't forget, it's going to be my very first cruise as well. So why don't we just go, whether you're a seasoned cruiser or a brand new cruiser, whether you're travelling with because I've got people who've booked like 4, 6s and 8s sort of thing. If you're travelling with a group or you're just travelling on your own, I'm going to be there the whole time. We will have the best time, and Cruise1st and Princess will all look after us. So have a good think about it. Go to the website, www.johnscottcruise.com. When you're there now watching this, watch the other little film, fill in the booking form, and hopefully I'll see you on May the 17th.